Hello everyone, Basic Ollie here, hope you're all doing well and welcome back to another GT Sport video and welcome back to FIA races, finally. Feels like forever since I've managed to do or attempt one of these videos. Feels like the FIA has just not been around in Gran Turismo for a long time it feels, and I feel like it's at the heart of this game, so I'm really glad to see it back. And I've decided to go with Porsche in this one, as you could probably tell, as the loading screen loaded, essentially. I've got an absolutely gorgeous livery on this car, so fingers crossed you guys absolutely love it. It's part of Team Rock. I had someone create it for me, so yeah, absolutely awesome. So we get qualifying underway then. We are at Interlagos for this one. Tyre wear and fuel wear is extremely high. I'm not quite sure exactly what the numbers are, but they are horrifically high. So my first lap wasn't too shabby. I did a 1:30.193, but I know there's a lot of time still in this lap. I was just rusty, I just had no practice at all really, and it just wasn't, I just couldn't quite get up to speed on this track in this car. I absolutely love this track on this game, I love it in real life. On this game it's just fantastic. It's probably one of the most even tracks in terms of performance for all the Group 3 cars. It seems that every car has a pro and a con on this track, but the Porsche really comes to life in the race, and trust me when I say it really does come to life. It's a brilliant race, so fingers crossed you guys really enjoy this one. But this is my second attempt, or my second lap in qualifying. Only 5 minutes in qualifying it seems in the FIA season for this year. So I say this year, I think it's 6 rounds, I think so. 6 weeks probably of the Manufacturers Cup, which is which we're taking part in. Halfway through this lap, we are over a tenth up on my previous time. Ideally you want to get in the 129s, and I feel like at my level I really should be, if I'm being completely frank and brutal with myself, I should be getting in the 129s here. But Porsche is just not quite there in terms of performance for qualifying overall in this game. As we cross the line here, we do our 1:30.080, just enough to get us up to P8 there, and 0.005 of a second from getting to P7. Unfortunately though, as the qualifying ended and everyone finished their times, it dropped me back to P9. So one thing I did mention, one thing I do need to mention, sorry, is tyre requirements. So you can see in the bottom right hand corner it says we need to use hards, mediums and softs in this race, which is all 3 tyre compounds, and I absolutely love the fact we have to do that, because it just adds strategy to the race, which is what everyone loves. No one wants a boring 20 lap sprint, because there's 20 laps in this race. No one wants that. You want strategy, so you have to worry about fuel, you have to worry about tyres, and it just opens the race up, because it's not just a sprint race. You know, you've got to think about everything. So even on the start line here, you can see I put my car in lean mixture 6 just to save as much fuel as I possibly can. So if anyone doesn't know, you know, how the cars behave or react on this game, as in terms of like fuel, tyre wear, the Porsche is fantastic in both departments, and this is kind of a fuel saving race. You're going to see as we go through the center S's there, you're going to see that I'm going to be short shifting a lot, so I will be changing gears about halfway, and I'll be lifting and coasting on the main straights when I can, as it's almost 3 wide going into the first corner. I see an opportunity here to go up the inside, and I was side by side. Unfortunately I think that guy got collected almost in a sandwich between myself and XGR Viggy, the Portuguese guy there, and he just loses out. So apologies to him. I felt like it was a fair move at the time. Maybe looking back at this, I should have been a little bit more cautious and probably given a little bit more space. But yeah, apologies to you, my friend. But anyways, yeah, stuck by on the Hyundai. Good start so far. We started in P9. P8 is where we're currently sat, halfway through the first opening lap. I decided to go on the mediums in my first stint. Okay, so my plan for this one is to go for mediums till about lap 7, I think, depends on the tyre wear, and then another 7 laps on the softs, and then 6 laps on the hards to finish. And in the recent update, the pit stops take an awful lot longer now, which I think, to be fair, is actually quite a good thing. Also I experienced in this race, because people could easily do softs, mediums, and then 1 lap on the hard. It's not really the same. You get an absolutely awesome launch actually behind the guy in the Hyundai here, but unfortunately he covers the inside line, and I didn't quite realise the track limits were quite so strong there, and the game gives me a half-second penalty. Probably deserved, to be fair, because I went off the track. I do get the move done eventually, as all 3 of us. We go 3 wide, absolutely awesome racing through and down the centre S's. Now I'm going to have to serve this half-second penalty, which is a bit of a pain in the bum. wasn't part of my plan to get a half-second penalty here, and that does drop us down one place. We'll be side by side with Viggy, but we just managed to stay ahead of him there, so thankfully we've not lost too much time. Another absolutely awesome thing about this race is I have no idea, when you start the race, I feel like you have no idea what tyres people are on, which is absolutely awesome. So you kind of got to judge what you've got to do. And as soon as I got this race underway, even though we were one lap in, I felt like I was so much quicker than everyone else around me. Now you got to think, maybe is that because of tyres, maybe, or are they fuel saving more than I am? Look at this for a camera angle, by the way, absolutely awesome. But you got to think, is it tyre wear? Is it the type of car I'm in? Is it because they're fuel saving? Is it the type of tyres that are on? But for me, if I've got the pace, I'm just going to go for it. That's exactly what I've done. So we've gone up one position already, and you can see I'm all over the back of Jackal Reel here. But we've got to play it smart. We've got to play it safe. There's a long race. It's actually 20 laps, which is quite long in terms of Gran Turismo races. You don't often get a race quite as long as this. I think this race was like 30 odd minutes, which is long for Gran Turismo standards. If you're watching anyone from Gran Turismo, please keep the race distances at this kind of length. I think people really like it. I do. I certainly do. But let me know in the comments if you feel the same. Going down the centre races once more, by the way. I keep it in kind of second gear. You can go first gear. It's probably optimal to be in first, but I think second gear saves a load of fuel there. And we get a really nice exit as we go out of turn 3 and 4. And yeah, we're going to be right behind Jackal. We're going to go to left-hand side. Let our intentions be clear that we want to go for a move. Purple in the first sector by 2 tenths, so we're on a flyer already. We're looking quick. We get the move done, and that's us up now to P7. So in terms of race starts, it's going very well. A 1:33.5. It's far from lightning. It's 2 seconds off the chap who is currently in first, Sander. But it doesn't matter too much because we're getting these positions done, and he might have started on the soft tyre. So we'll keep that in mind. We're not too worried about the overall pace of the fastest lap or the chap in first. But for me, I can still see. I think I saw just P2. As we go around this set of corners here, go through the right. Absolutely awesome downhill left-hander. 2 wheels on the curb if you can. Make sure you don't do any more than that because the rear end can step out quite easily. Thankfully, the Porsche is absolutely solid, and it really does us proud here around this circuit. So, skip ahead to lap 4 then, or halfway through lap 4. I managed to catch up with P6. So on lap 3, the lap you were just watching, I did a 31.9, which is only 4 tenths off the fastest lap. So it goes to show the pace that we did have here, and like I said at the start of the video, the pace of this Porsche is really coming to life. It might not be the best in qualifying, but in the race it is absolutely fantastic. A combination of low tyre wear and low fuel usage as well just makes this car come to life. So it's just one of those. It's just one of those cars where it might not feel out and out the fastest, but it just feels so nice to drive. It's fantastic. Anyways, braking just before the 50-metre board. These tyres are starting to get a little bit worn now. You can see by the graph, or the tyre wear graph I should say, in the bottom left hand corner, they're looking a bit second hand, but fuel wise I think we're still good. Reports were that people were having to drastically fuel save in order to get to the second stint, as we go actually purple in the first sector still. So that goes to show you just how good this Porsche is hanging on here. And honestly, the grip, the rear grip this thing has, you can go down to about 70% tyre wear, and the rear tyres just still give you everything. It's absolutely brilliant. It's so nice to pick a manufacturer where I don't have to worry about the tyre wear. It's so nice. Honestly, you guys know, if you watch my channel, whenever we do these FIA seasons, we always seem to pick an underdog for a car. This is the first time I've really gone for a manufacturer where you say, okay, they're a little bit OP, and I'm absolutely loving it. I'm absolutely loving it so far. It's so good to not have to worry about those kind of things. And one thing I have just noticed, actually, whilst I'm doing this voiceover, we're only 7.8 seconds off the leader at the moment, and we started in P9. That's very good. Very, very good. Now, our friend, our Spanish friend here in P6, had a poor exit. I don't quite know what happened there. He was just a little bit cautious going to that corner. Maybe braked a little bit too early, hit the apex a little bit too quickly. He was thinking of defending it, I think, but then saw the pace difference and probably thought to himself, I've got a fuel save. And that's exactly what he did. And you can see a massive lift and coast there from myself. Just letting go of the throttle about 150 or the 100-metre board and then braking makes such a huge difference to your race. There's 20 laps here. If you do lift and coast every lap, on the first corner and this corner down here, about 200 metres of non-acceleration, so 200 metres of fuel per lap you're saving over 20 laps. You know, it's a significant amount of fuel you are saving. So for anyone who's watching this, or for anyone who's done this race, let me know in the comments as well. But if you did any lifting coasting, how much it helped, because it helps massively on this game, I found. Anyways, let's go to the next lap then, and let's see exactly what the situation is, because we're catching up with P5 and P4 now. So we've got that P6 in the bag, we've got past the Spaniard, we've dropped him, it's 1.5 seconds is the gap now, so we're absolutely flying, and it now depends if we can get past our friends Bezzy02 and James G_04. We've got P3 there as well. I'm not quite sure what car he's in. It looks like we've got a Honda in front of us, and then a Hyundai. I can't quite see what P3 is. It looks like it could be a Dodge or a Corvette. I can't quite see. Whenever I do these voiceovers, the screen's quite a bit small. That looks like a Dodge to me. Yeah, that looks like a Dodge. And yeah, I think you can just about see the manufacturer logo or badge, whatnot, right next to it. Anyways, I was thinking for a move up the inside, and I did take the move up the inside. However, I did a very newbie mistake. I understeered and touched the grass on the right hand side, causing the rear end to absolutely bottle it. Unfortunately, as good as the car is, you know, it's going to naturally lose grip as soon as you touch the grass. Now that would have put me in P5 for pit stop, but it doesn't matter. Now this is really important. As we go in the pits, look at my fuel. Look at my fuel. I've not really done much fuel saving, but I have got a good 8 or 9% more fuel than anyone else in this lobby right now, which is absolutely mega. That's absolutely awesome. Now this puts me, as I decide to go on the soft tyres, so when I've got the lowest amount of fuel, I decide to go on the softs. It's probably the best. But yeah, I put the soft tyres on. The chap in front of me is on the hards in a Hyundai, and because he's on the hards, I actually overtake him, because when the computer's taken over, it doesn't have the grip to go around that corner as quick. So I actually jump him in the pit lane, which is absolutely ridiculous, really, to be honest with you. But we'll take it. Any W we can take, we'll grab it with both hands. But P7 now, but we have served our pit stop. Pit stops you lose an enormous amount of time in the pits. I think you lose about 20 to 30 seconds here. It's an insane amount of time. It's probably realistic. It's probably very, very realistic in terms of how much you actually lose in the pits, which is great to see. But yeah, we've come out in P7. We overtook James because of the tyres. But this is where we've now got to push. Okay, we've got the medium tyres out of the way. Good first stint to the race. We moved up a few positions, showed our intentions, made our intentions clear, and we looked quick. Now we're on the soft tyres. We've really got to pick up the pace and see if we can potentially set a fastest lap. That's the kind of things we've got to be doing. And these two are holding us up ever so slightly here. And Bezzy, I think, has a lot of pace here. I think he's just getting held up by a Maniac Hunter in the Dodge. The Dodge, I don't think since the BOP update is very good here. I know a lot of people that have struggled. It's not too good on fuel, I don't think, and tyre wear, it's not the best. I think it's quite a chunky boy, isn't it? Like the Mustangs or the Corvettes. They're a bit heavy. As Bezzy, nice move up the inside as we go through the centre S's. Once again, yeah, nice move up the inside. So he goes to P3. We've got to make sure we don't lose him here, so we're going to have to get this move done. Now, you can see the grip difference here. I go to left-hand side. We are side by side. You can see the pace difference in the Dodge still. He's got that slipstream. Now, if I'm going to make this move done, I'm going to have to be brave. I brake as late as I can without trying to cause any sort of issues for our friend here, but that puts him off enough for him to go wide, and we managed to get the move done up to P4, which is absolutely awesome. So up to P4 now. Really, really good. And again, I'm going to point towards how much time we've lost to the leader. If anything, we've actually gained time on the leader. Now, unfortunately, I don't know what tyres he's on. He could be on a completely different strategy, but so far, Sander is absolutely bossing this race. He's having no issues whatsoever. He's dominated from the front, and as someone in P1, that's exactly what you want to do. Now, we are sat in P4, which is absolutely fantastic, which is what you want to see. 6.7 seconds now. So that makes me, that's trying to, there we go, purple by 3.5 tenths. That's absolutely awesome. So that's making me think that maybe he's potentially on the hard tyres right now. We'll have to see by the end of the pit stop. We should be able to see if I manage to concentrate and actually keep an eye on it. But anyways, we're going to skip ahead now. We're going to skip to lap 10 because we're very, very close to Bezzy now. I managed to close that gap. He was quick, very, very quick in the Honda NSX, but I think the tyre wear around this track is kind of, unfortunately, it's pulling his pants down a little bit. There's nothing much he can do, as he lets me by, actually. So thank you very much for that, Bezzy. I love that. Really, really intelligent race, and he knows that I'm quicker, wants to minimise the time lost by fighting through the middle sector and on the straight, so he's probably just going to follow me on the straights, just take my slipstream and just go from there. Good, clean, intelligent racing, I think. But yeah, he decides to go in the pits, and we are on lap 14 now, and you can see I have absolutely closed up P1 and P2, and P2's actually gone wide now, so he goes wide. He is in the Toyota Supra Dan X79G, and he actually lets me through. He lets me through there, so massive thank you for that. I'm not quite sure why he's done it. And this is kind of confirmation here. As you can see, the leader's actually on the hard tyres, so they were absolutely rapid. And once again, you can see my fuel is so much higher than anyone else. And I've really not had to do much fuel saving at all. All I've really been doing is coasting on those straights, and I've been pushing. It's not like I've sat back and, you know, tried to fuel save as much as I can here. I've not had to worry about that in this brilliant car. There's not been any issues with that. In fact, I went in the pit stops, and I still had 2 laps of fuel remaining. So if I could have gone to lap 16 if it wasn't for tyre wear, which is just absolutely insane on this race. Now, unfortunately, Sander in front of us here, he is going to pull away. There's not much we can do, but our main concern now is just getting this car home. Now, I did slightly under fuel, as you can see, laps remaining is 5.6, so we're on the edge a little bit here, but I'm hoping as the fuel goes down, the car will get lighter. Fuel won't be such an issue because we can save a little bit more, and it's all about keeping this position now. Now, I don't know whether P1 now has to go in the pits. My assumption is they do, because I don't think there's any way that Sander would have been undercut or overcut or anything like that. So I think this guy in front of us is definitely the leader of the race. There's no doubt about that. So as soon as P1 here, I think goes in the pits, the guy from Czech Republic, Kart, I think there. As soon as he goes in the pits, that should put us in P2. Now that is absolutely fantastic compared to where we started. So we started in P9, 15 laps in. We don't have to pit again. Here you go, that's confirmation. P1 has gone in the pit, so he's going to drop well back. So that's confirmation there. Even though with our hard tyres right now, if we can keep this position, we can finish P2 here. So there's P2 confirmation right there as we go past. We just got to make sure we can keep putting in consistent laps and just absolutely nailing it. And that, I believe, is exactly what we did. So we're going to cross the line here in our first race for Porsche in the FIA manufacturers. We're going to finish P2 from P9, which is an absolutely awesome result. What a car and what a race that was. Flawless that was for me. I absolutely loved that race, and I think everyone, if you took part in this, let me know, because I bet you absolutely enjoyed it as well. It was an absolute blast. Since the penalties have been pretty much eradicated in the higher rated lobbies, it's been brilliant. It's been absolutely fantastic, and I really hope you enjoyed that one, because that's the strategy, racecraft and the car just all came together, and we got an absolute fantastic result. 262 points, not my best, but that is, no, you can't turn your nose down on that. That is a good amount of points. Unfortunately, we're only in P11 because you can see the massive names that are signed for Porsche. This is what happens when you go for a bigger manufacturer. But yeah, absolutely fantastic, and I really hope you enjoyed that, guys. Let me know in the comments if you had a good time this race as well, and I'll catch you for the next one. Hope you enjoyed the FIA race. Good to have them back. Take care, everyone. Ta-da.